I would like to circle back to your words have energy.
Okay.
This was one thing. You love Star Wars.
Yes.
It is. It's in your blood. And so it was really fun for me when one of the first things we worked on was a Yoda-ism.
Yes.
Would you care to share that?
Yes. Do or do not, there is no try.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great wisdom in that one.
There, very much.
Why?
So the reality is that, yeah, there is no try. You do or you don't. I think the first thing that you shared with me, because I love Star Wars, I always got it. I don't think it ever clicked at like a deep level. It made sense, philosophically, right? But okay, well, how does it work practically? And I feel like that was what you helped. It was like, okay, well, if I have this glass or this vase in front of me, try to pick it up. And then, me not understanding, I picked it up. I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't trying. You actually did pick it up. And then if I didn't pick it up, you're like, okay, well, you didn't try. You just didn't pick it up. You can't try to pick something up or try not to pick something up. You either do or you don't. And so I was like, oh, that's a very good point. I can't try anything. It's, for lack of a better word, a cop-out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized that, I was like, wow, how much am I blocking myself? How much am I limiting of myself through this? Oh, well, I tried. I made an effort. But did I? Am I being transparent with myself? Did I actually do all that I could? Because I'll tell you what, anytime that I actually put 100% of myself into something, I never had to say, well, I tried. No. We all know that feeling when we put 100% in something and it feels great. Because we know that we gave everything to it and there's nothing left on the table. So the idea of a question doesn't even come up into play anymore. Not from ego, not from overconfidence, not from, I'm the greatest or anything like that. Just from pure self-love, confidence, and authenticity that you gave all of who you are to that. So in return, there is no question.
Yeah. Now, you might not achieve it, and that's okay. But then it's just, I didn't achieve it, but I gave it everything.
Right.
But there's no try.
No try.
I gave it everything. So other words that are commonly used that kind of send you into this cycle, because part of it is when we say we're trying, I'm trying, it's kind of, again, that crutch. Well, okay, you're trying, but does it mean that much to you if what you're doing is trying? And should it be something you're putting energy into then? Right? Those are the questions. If you are transparent with yourself, if it's just something that you're trying, is it something that you really desire, that you really want to go for? And if not, then maybe it's something that you are not that passionate about, and that's okay. So it helps to ask yourself those questions. Now, there are some other words that we get caught on this, like merry-go-round with, and we don't necessarily think about too much, but there's an energy that kind of gets involved with it, where it's like, oh, that feels like drudgery, versus, oh, that makes me, yes, that lights me up, or that feels much better than that other word, but it lights a fire under me instead. Were there any others like that you navigated through?
Definitely. I feel like a strong one was want. So through the first couple of weeks of us kind of working together, I was amazed by how many times I caught myself saying try. Amazed. To this day, it's still like, wow. And now it's outside of purposely bringing it forward, when was the last time you heard me say try? Not even related to food.
Yes. in this
I say
conversation a
sample.
lot, but yeah.
Yeah, outside of this example, yeah. So it's funny how that works.
And
then with want, it's the same thing. We get stuck because we hear these words, right? And it's the way that others are communicating. So we naturally, nothing's wrong with it. But in the reality of want is that it comes from a place of lack. And so if we want something, then all we're doing is putting ourselves in a forever cycle of wanting it, not actually achieving it. That was like, mind-blowing for me. So getting try, which doesn't exist, and then releasing the word of want, because the whole idea of want, need, desire, they are interconnected in some way, right? And they all stem from a greater energy of abundance. The piece that I feel like people struggle in understanding is that when you say words like want and need, you're really focused in the abundance of lack. So you could be abundantly in lack. That's like a weird concept to think about, but that's reality. Mm-hmm. So abundance is always around us, but it's okay, well, what energy are we putting into that abundance? And want and need are lack-based energies, because it keeps us in this state of always wanting or always needing, not actually achieving. But a word like desire, for example, is kind of a pull away from that. And the reason why is because it's more of and think about the way we use it, passion. Mm-hmm. Passion stems from love. Love is the strongest energy. Love you can be in abundance of love. Well, when you are in abundance of love, you naturally attract. So therefore, everything you quote unquote would want and need becomes a byproduct of what you are putting forward through passion.
Yes. And so as you're becoming transparent with self and others, having a clear, and we talked about it a little bit in the beginning, how you communicate through that transparency is key, and the words that you choose and the energy that you choose as you're communicating it. So the more you start to feel into, hey, does that word feel heavy? Work is another one for me that feels right. So heavy. I'm working on that. Okay, that just feels like I've schlepped something onto my back and I have to walk 50 miles. But if I say I'm navigating toward that goal, then that to me feels so much more like, okay, I have an end in sight and all I'm doing is taking every step necessary to get to that end. Work is like a cycle that never gets finished. Man, I go into work every day. Boom, boom, boom. That's just never ending. But if I'm navigating toward my goal, I have clear set directions for where I'm headed and I'm getting myself there. And it just feels so different. And so if I'm communicating that to you in transparency too, like, hey, I see us heading down this course in our relationship, but what we really desire is to head to this direction based on what we've agreed to. So what do you say we turn course, or we figure out, is this really where we desire to go to? That's a completely different way than saying, man, you just completely changed everything and I don't feel good about it. Why are you doing this? I don't want to be in a relationship like that. Like, it's a completely different conversation that we're having, though both are me being transparent about what's going on inside of me. That conversation, how it comes off to you, is two totally different conversations.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you bringing that forward as an incredible example that I'm sure many people will relate to, and one that we've navigated, continue to say, ourselves. And you're right. I mean, when it comes to relationships, how many times we hear people, oh, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a fun energy to, I mean, I can't imagine how you would feel you heard that that's how I was sharing our relationship. Oh, we're working on it. Well, at that point, why? What is that? There's other ways to connect in that way where, hey, maybe we are navigating through a rough patch. Okay,
Yeah.
that happens. We're people. We're still seeking to understand ourselves through this process, like we were saying, our entire lives. So it's only natural to have ups and downs. I mean, when we look at frequency, even high vibrational frequency still has little ups and downs like that, right?
Yeah.
It's just a little more aligned, but we're going to have those moments, and we should be allowed to. That's something we talk about. Well, we need to have those moments. We're allowed to. But if we're navigating, the reason why we say something like navigating or directing or focusing, flowing, these are actionable terms that create a desired result.
Yeah.
And so through the transparency, we're bringing intention into the words that describe our actions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no wonder we achieve the goal or where we desire to be, because we're very clear and concise, we're communicating it, and we know exactly what we need to do. And we're not in a cycle of not achieving. We're creating a cycle of actually achieving.
Yeah. And it's not like strapping a 50-pound weight on your partner's back either, where it is, oh, well, we're drudging through this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not drudging through it. It may feel like that at certain points, but that's a choice that we can make to continue the drudge or to shift the way that we're choosing to look at it and lift ourselves up out of it a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be night and day. You're not going to flip a coin and suddenly it's a completely different flow.
Mm-hmm.
But there are these little tweaks that we can make in our communication, our connection, and our transparency with any connection that we have that can maybe make it feel a little less like work and a little more like a connected relationship.
Mm-hmm.